Seeing as you're on this website watching this video, I'm assuming that you have a passion for students and for helping them connect with Jesus. I wonder how that started for you. I'm Christa, and for me, student mission first came on my radar when I was only 11 years old when I first encountered Fusion. And by the time I was ready to go to university for myself, I was excited not only about moving to a new city and meeting new people, but about seeing what God might do amongst the students in my place at my time. So I moved here to Glasgow, and whilst I was studying, I became involved running student small groups. And shortly after graduating, I became a student worker at the very church I had walked through the doors of my first day of university. I was the student worker there for 7 years, praying and planning, training leaders and running small groups, drinking many cups of coffee and handing out even more bottles of water in the early hours on campus as students were coming out of their unions. During that time, I saw God do amazing things in and through many students, but I always had this niggling feeling that there was more. That what I was seeing was just the tip of the iceberg of what God wanted to do amongst students not only in Glasgow, but also across Scotland as a whole. I began to dream of how our nation could be different in 10, 20 and even 100 years if each generation of students grasped who God really is, if they were captured by the radical, life-changing message of Jesus, and if they began to step into all God's made them to be. Fusion in Scotland over the years has taken many different forms and supported many churches, but a wee while ago God started speaking to leadership about change, and they became convinced that this was the time for there to be a new expression of Fusion, both born and based in Scotland. And so, after many meetings and much prayer, I'm excited to be launching this new venture, which is Fusion Scotland. Just like Fusion in other nations, we are passionate about student mission and discipleship. The years that young people spend at university are pivotal in shaping who they will be and what they will do with the rest of their lives. We believe that the local church is the primary place for them to experience the meaning of life and to encounter Jesus. So we want to see young people all across our nation prepared emotionally and spiritually for the transition into university life. We want to see them connected up with churches in their university cities. We want to see those who have never walked into a church be included and invited. And we want to see those working with students, discipling them in transformative ways that will impact both them and our nation as a whole in the years to come. So what's Fusion Scotland's role in all of this? Well, firstly, we want to help youth workers prepare their young people for the transition to university life. Secondly, we want to help new students connect with churches in their university cities through the Student Link Up app. And thirdly, we want to support, equip and encourage churches up and down the country to disciple students in transformative ways, which will impact them and those they interact with, both now and in the years to come. So if you work with older youth or with students, I would love to hear from you to see how together we might see more of God's kingdom breaking out all across our nation.